you are going to move on to the next speaker. Our next speaker is now Kristen Hirsch. I'm going to speak a little bit about you. He's going to speak on the waste management and rivers and oceans plastics, why it is important to collect plastic in rivers in India, by Kristen Hirsch, CEO and co-founder of Plastic Fisher India Private Limited. Kristen graduated from law school in Germany in 2018 and went on a holiday trip to Vietnam with two friends. They witnessed the plastic pollution of the Mekong and decided to found the first company to tackle ocean plastic pollution already in rivers. Kristen is co-founder and CEO of Social Enterprise and grew Plastic Fisher from a rough idea of an internationally recognized organization that is probably the most efficient company in the world when it comes to ocean plastic pollution prevention. The startup collected more than 300 tons of river plastic in less than a year's time and created local jobs for underserved communities in the emerging markets. This is wonderful. My God, you look so young and you already achieved so much. I can't believe this. But anyway, let us listen to you, Kristen. The floor is yours. Most welcome.
Thank you very much. Well, I'm 31. I think it's considered something in the middle between very young.
Anyone is too young to achieve this. Is too young to achieve this. You're too young to achieve whatever you have achieved. Wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Very empowering
for
and
the warm
encouraging.
words.
Thank you.
Okay, let me talk a little bit about Plastic Fisher, what we do, and why we do that. I think you can see my screen. Yeah, I'm Carsten. I'm co-founder and CEO of Plastic Fisher, and we collect plastic in rivers to prevent it from going into the oceans. And I want to talk first of all a little bit about waste management and why is plastic actually entering the oceans through rivers. It's a very complex topic, to say that upfront. But one of the big problems is that we have a lot of mismanaged waste, which is here represented by the orange bar in this chart. And we see that India, this is the second bar here on the down part of the slide, that India has a lot of mismanaged waste. So have other countries, of course. But what we see also everywhere is that a lot of plastic or waste is actually landfilled, which is the dark blue bar that we can see here in this chart. And as a lot of plastic waste is mismanaged and not collected by the government or by the contractors, it's ending up somewhere and a lot of times in the environment. Here we can see a map of hotspots where plastic is leaking into the oceans, and it's an algorithm hotspot map by the Ocean Cleanup, who said, okay, here we have population and not sufficient waste management infrastructure, and it's close to coastline. So this is basically a map that indicates where we have a lot of plastic leaking into the oceans. And we can see India along the coastline, basically everywhere. This big bulk here is the Philippines, and here, of course, in Southeast Asia, in Indonesia, where we have a lot of small islands and not sufficient infrastructure, a lot of plastic is coming into the oceans. Well, that has a negative effect on the ecosystems and the environment, and it's very expensive. So, of course, on one hand, and this is why we founded the company, plastic is killing animals and destroying ecosystems. This is basically the reason why we said, let's do something about it. But it's also very expensive to clean that up again. I mean, the effects of plastic in oceans, I cannot really summarize that properly for you or foresee, but we know that ecosystems are getting destroyed, which will have a huge effect on the entire ecosystem of the world. And also, if the ocean cannot function anymore properly as a carbon sink because of the plastic pollution, this is increasing the speed of climate change. Cleaning it up later on is way more expensive than investing now and preventing plastic from entering the oceans. We now know that more than 80% of plastic is coming through Asian rivers into the oceans. When I was with my friends in Vietnam, we thought, well, there seems to be a lot of plastic coming through rivers, and we founded the first company to tackle ocean plastic already there. Now, more than 3 years later, we know that it's actually the case, and that a lot of river plastic is the reason for ocean plastic pollution. This is how drains and rivers in India look like. It's in Trivandrum, in Kanpur, in Varanasi, but also in other cities in India where we also operate. But we have this situation in many other Asian countries. This picture we took in Indonesia, and that shows the extent of the problem. And we also see, you know, how can we raise awareness for a problem if you grow up in a place like this and people don't know that this is not, you know, how it's supposed to look. And honestly, if it would look like this, I wouldn't feel too bad to throw my plastic packaging to this pile of waste because it doesn't seem to make any difference. So it's a complex problem that we as three friends decided to start working on. And this is why we founded the company after being in Vietnam now nearly 4 years ago. And we founded the company with the idea to prevent ocean plastic in rivers, as I mentioned already, protect marine biodiversity, but develop very simple technologies to stop that at scale and achieve with clean rivers, also clean oceans, and stop the pollution right there. We developed a very simple and efficient technology. It's a swimming fence, a swimming barrier that is built from globally available materials, and we can build it anywhere in the world within very short time. It's not rocket science, that's something I agree on, but that was actually the goal, to build something very simple that works. And we built this modular system that consists of several elements, and we put together as many elements as we need to put it across the river, and then it looks like that in action. And this is one of the most polluted rivers in the world in Indonesia. This is the Citarum River. And yeah, we figured out in this river that our technology that we developed in this river or at this river actually helps stop a lot of plastic. And we got the attention by the World Economic Forum. We were awarded as top innovator and invited to the annual meeting this year with a very simple and efficient approach. What else is needed? Because this technology is, as you saw, very simple. And actually we decided to publish this construction manual open source, so everyone that wants to take action can go on our website, download the construction manual and take action themselves, because the problem is huge. It needs to be tackled by many stakeholders, and we want to make it as easy as possible for everyone to take action. But besides deploying a system, we also need people to pick it up and organize the end-to-end logistics around that. So it takes a dedicated team that we need to carry out these operations. And I'm leading the company together with Aviel from Germany, here in my hometown, Cologne. We sit here and try to manage our operations in India, Indonesia, and Zimbabwe from here. I'm a lawyer. My partner Aviel is worked for more than 10 years in the Navy as leading engineer in naval architecture and is now in charge of the operations and also the technology. Then we have Rishabh and Harish, my first employees ever, now directors of the Indian company of Plastic Fisher, and they are also leading the operations in Varanasi, Kanpur, and Mangalore. What we do is we hire local project managers, and we heard this earlier, and that was also emphasized after the presentation again, a local approach that has effects globally. And this is exactly what we do as well. We hire local people that know the language, the culture, the problems, the challenges, the stakeholders, and they build a team around them, hire their own team, manage this, and have the lead of these local projects themselves. So we don't send anyone from Germany to carry that out. We don't send any technology. Everything is built in place, and this is why we are very efficient and effective, and because we have very committed and dedicated team members that want to make an impact. As this is an Indian event, I would like to stress a little bit more on Indian operations, what we're doing here. I want to show a few pictures. This is Varanasi in the Asi River, one of the polluted drains to the Ganga, where we deployed a walkable trash broom system that stops tons of plastic every week from going into the Ganga and eventually entering the oceans. This is the Varuna River, the other river that gives Varanasi the name, also quite plastic polluted, where we set up another system. This is Trivandrum, where we deployed a system, one of the most polluted drains in the city, and that we cleaned up on Vishu this year. Yeah, we managed this waste, but what we do with the waste we discuss now. We set up very simple sorting facilities. It's warehouses where we equip very simple machines, drying machines, baling machines, and we segregate the waste. And the recyclable material is sold to local off-takers for recycling, but the vast majority is actually not recyclable. And this is what you can see here in these big bales. It's around 15 tons of river plastic, which we collect in roughly a month per site. And this is sent to incineration. It goes to cement plants where it is used as supplements of fossil fuels, and the incineration creates energy that can be used. Unfortunately, this is the only thing you can do with this waste. You cannot recycle it. So it's going to thermal recovery, as it's called. Despite the environmental impact, we create social impact. So I told you we invest in local infrastructure and set up these sorting facilities to manage the waste, but we also create local and full-time jobs for the community. So people that used to work or look every day for work are now full-time employed, have a bank account, health insurance, and get their salary on time and get treated well by our project managers. And this is really great to see and have also honest smiles on their faces. Of course, it's a dirty work. It's also a hard work, but thanks to our project managers and they are treated really well with a lot of respect. We know and appreciate the work they are doing, and in return, they also are reliable people that also appreciate the benefits that we can offer them, even though it's a hard space to work in and make money with to pay all these salaries. We also raise awareness for the problem. This is our weekly Ganga cleanup drive in Varanasi, where we gather around 100 volunteers weekly that clean up the riverbanks of Ganga and that help us raise awareness for this problem. And it's a great side impact that we can create. This is not our main focus, but it's definitely something fun where we like to engage with the local people and motivate them to do something. So Plastic Fisher is, in a nutshell, the turnkey solution for ocean plastic pollution in a way that we don't just sell technology and hope for the best, but we really carry out the end-to-end operation. So we go to a site where we want to work. Let's say we want to go to Kanpur, and there we apply for permission. We reach out to the government, we get their support and permissions. We collaborate with GIZ, who helps us setting up the sorting facilities. We go to local workshops, produce our technology. We deploy the systems in the river. We empty it if needed every day, bring it to our sorting facilities, dry the material, sort the material, and then make sure that the recyclables make its way back into the supply chain, and the non-recyclables are going to a place where it's not ending up in the environment again, where it's incinerated and used as energy source. The entire process is end-to-end verified. And now the question is, how is this operation funded? Let's first talk about a few statistics. So we created, since last year, nearly 70 full-time jobs in India and Indonesia, working in now 25 rivers, and have collected more than 354 tons of plastic since April last year. With this, we are unfortunately one of the most successful companies in the world, because I say unfortunately, because it's compared to 8 million tons that enter the oceans every year, far from where we need to be. So it's all about scalability, and we need to do that. We need to scale our operations. Other companies need to scale this approach to really make an impact on the plastic pollution of our oceans. So we are looking for organizations that support us scaling in India. This is our focus. We have successful and operational sites we're looking forward to scale along the coastline, along the Ganga and the Yamuna River, along other polluted rivers in India. And we're looking for companies that invest their CSR budget in the most impactful way. So we have already a collaboration with the Allianz, the insurance group, which finances the entire operations of Trivandrum. We are in conversations with leading companies in India that want to support us, that are, we're in conversations with to sign contracts, hopefully multiple years, so that we can set up more operations, invest in infrastructure, create jobs, and stop tons of plastic from entering the oceans. And we're looking for more organizations to do that, to join in, and invest their money in an impactful way that is measured, that is verified, and that makes sense. So yeah, this is beautiful Varanasi and the Ganga. We are operating there since 1.5 years, stopped more than 100 tons from entering the Ganga. And Ganga is the most polluted river in the world. So there is a lot of work to do. And we need more companies to help us achieving scalability, especially in India, where we got great support, where we have great people working for us, big successful companies. They want to do something. Rivers are considered a holy in India, and it's a shame that they look like that today. And we want to help, making them beautiful again, while creating jobs for the local communities. Yeah, thank you very much for having me. This was, in a nutshell, what we do at Plastic Fisher in India.
Thank you, Karsten. This was a beautiful model, and that is already scaled up. But as you rightly said, that you still want, there's a lot of unfinished work, and you want many more partners to join hands with you. And the most important thing is that when you say that, Ganga is holy and people should not be dirting it, but how many people have actually seen that dirt? The sad part of our lives is that we don't see what it doesn't mean anything to us. If other people are dirting the river, nobody wants to raise a finger or say that, okay, don't do this. You went for a holiday and you saw this, you understood that what is happening to the river, what is happening to the sea, why plastic is there. How many people are thinking about it? I think we all go to holidays and we all go for travel and come back. We only think about the good food we ate and, all that, sunshine and the rain and beautiful things that we saw. Nobody wants to look at the bad part of, or the problems that are existing there around us. So I think when you say I'm 31, so I think at 31, if this is what you have achieved, when you are double your age, when you are 62, I think you will be able to complete your mission. That's what I think. So, but when I say something, it comes true. So keep your fingers crossed. We are all with you, and we'll make sure that this kind of work is promoted on each and every forum. So I think it is a great opportunity for you to showcase your work and remain in touch with the GCPIT, and we all work together. And thank you again for thinking about cleaning the environment and the ecosystem and achieving what you have achieved at your age. So a lot of compliments to you, and thank you again.
Thank you so much.